Hey guys, welcome back to Honeycomb. My name is Keo, and it's been a while since you've heard from us here on the YouTube page. So sorry about that. We've been pretty busy here, and I wanted to give you guys some updates as we brew a very special coffee. This is the Mount Apo Maria Luz Lactic Fermentation coffee. We're gonna brew that in a second, but before we get that, I wanted to tell you about what's going on here at Honeycomb. We've been pretty busy. We soft launched the Daily Drink Academy, which is our education platform for workshops and in-person workshops specifically. That's something that we just launched, and we ran our first class already last week. And that's the Introduction to Specialty Coffee, where you learn hands-on with espresso machines like this. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure that you do stay tuned to the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and follow along on Instagram at Honeycomb Manila, at Daily Drink Mag, and at Keo Kosha, which is my name, on Instagram. Now, for the people here in the studio, Naos Esports qualified. They finished, I think, second in the Philippines Valorant Champions Tour Wave 1, and they went to Asia Pacific Regionals. Unfortunately, they dropped there, but they're going to have another chance at Wave 2, so keep on following along with them, because it's Valorant, but it's also other stuff. So you can follow them on their Twitch page and also on their YouTube page for stuff that happens inside the studio here. And over this last weekend, they also did a Women in Esports roundtable for 3 days that they live streamed here. So you can check that out on their YouTube channel. What else? Liter of Light. Liter of Light is premiering in Dubai. Their documentary that was made about them. So it's a feature-length documentary. It's premiering at Expo 2020 in Dubai. That's fantastic. And a little bit of trivia, it just so happens that the director of that is JP Gopez, a very old friend of Honeycomb, back when Honeycomb was a co-working space in EDSA. We worked shoulder to shoulder with JP Gopez and his team, and Trissy, all the guys over there. 2 Liter of Light, Ilak Diaz. We're very proud of you guys. Keep up the great work. There's other stuff that's happening. Daily Drink is being updated. Our website's being updated. Everything's all kind of happening at the same time. But I wanted to take a moment to be able to have coffee with you guys, which we haven't done for a while. So let's do that now. I'm going to take the opportunity to show you guys our standard pour-over recipe and method for coffee here in Honeycomb, especially when we have new coffees like this one. So this is the Mount Apo Maria Luz Lactic Fermentation. The process is lactic fermentation. That's how the coffee goes from being a coffee cherry to being a coffee green, which is then roasted, or kind of think of it like popcorn before it's popped. Varietal is a Catamor typica, and the origin is Balu Takay, Bansalan. Producers, Maria Luz Dubria of Bacofa. Altitude is 1,600 meters above sea level. Crop year is this year. We're gonna take this, and I'm gonna do 2 things at the same time. First, I'm gonna grind our coffee. I've already dosed 12 grams of coffee into this grinder, the Time More Go grinder, or this is the Go 123, and we use this now for all of our pour-over coffees. That's how much we like it. Review is coming soon. Oh, what else is coming soon on the YouTube channel? We have the Oracle Touch from Breville. It's in here. We've been reviewing it and playing with it. Along with the Oracle Touch, which we'll have the review of soon, came a single wall portafilter basket. So we'll be able to try the much anticipated and much awaited single wall portafilter versus double wall, dual wall portafilter, pressurized portafilter comparison of the Breville Bambino Plus. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up very soon as well. And we also have a lot of coffees to taste. So we're going to do one about our cold brew process, how we do cold brew here in Honeycomb. And then we're going to do a very special video where we show the basics of blending. But for today, let's taste this coffee. All right, so I'm going to put that label over at the side. And we've set the grinder to 6 clicks, which is more or less our starting point for all of our pour-overs. While I was grinding, we went ahead and washed the filter. Now, when you rinse the filter for a pour-over device, we have 3 reasons why we're doing it. It is threefold. The first is to warm up the device. It allows the pour-over device, in this case, we're using the Origami brewer, and this is the ceramic version, and it'll warm it up so that we get to a more stable brewing temperature. It also warms up the carafe so that we have a more stable kind of landing environment for the coffee. Reason number 2 is that we want to remove any flavor of paper that might be in there. Sometimes your coffee will taste like a paper bag, and that's really coming from like the bleach and the materials that are in the filter. So we want to remove those flavors. The third reason why we wash the filters is because we want to saturate the filter. So if you don't wash your filter, you'll notice that your filters will turn brown as you're brewing your coffee, and that's coffee getting absorbed into the filter. My example for this is when you go swimming. If you don't take a shower before jumping in the pool, if you don't rinse down before jumping in the pool, your skin is going to be dry and absorbing all of the pool water with chlorine, and it'll stick to your skin. But if you take a shower before, if you rinse down before jumping in the pool, then your skin is already filled with water and you're not so concerned about chlorine getting stuck in there. And it's the same thing for here. We don't want stuff getting stuck in the filter, so we're gonna pre-saturate it. That's what we've done here. All right, so we've rinsed our filter. Now we're gonna put our coffee into our origami brewer. I like to give the grill grinder a little tap to make sure that all the coffee drops down from the burr. On the nose, it's already very fruity, very sweet. We've put in 12 grams of coffee into the origami brewer, and I'm gonna give it a little swirl and put a little crater right in the middle of the coffee grounds. And that crater is gonna be where we're gonna land our first water that we pour into the brewer. Now, expert tip. Usually when you do a pour over, people say to push the button at the moment that you are pouring the water. I say push the button first and start pouring when you get to 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Why? Well, you want to be very, very precise with that first pour, and you need to give yourself time to do that. So just offset your recipe by a few seconds and start pouring at 5 or 10 seconds. So I'm going to start the clock, and I'm going to grab my kettle. Clock is running, and we're getting to 5 seconds, and I'm going to pour. So I'm pouring right into that crater, making sure everything is wet. I want to pour about double the amount of coffee into the water, and I'm going to wait for about 20-25 seconds to see if it blooms. If it doesn't bloom, I'm going to start pouring again. And my goal is to get to 100 ml right as we get to 1 minute. Our brew temperature is at 93 degrees. You can adjust this based on your coffee. But we like to maintain that. Oh, it smells beautiful. We like to maintain that flow rate is what I should say. We like to maintain that flow rate for the coffee and just kind of have a standard so that we're doing it more or less the same every time, and there's less variables that are going into our pour overs. So now that we've gotten to 1 minute and 100 ml, my goal is to flow water in and keep the bed more or less at the same level inside of the origami brewer. Now this is the same for the origami brewer, V60, whatever the case. We want to have more or less the same volume of water inside the dripper all the way until we get to our target volume. 12 grams in, 220 out. We're done at 2 minutes 52 seconds. We have a relatively even bed, but more importantly than having that even bed at the end is that it be even throughout the brew process. And that's really what we focus on. And that's why you also have kind of that pie plate shape in there where even the fringe on the sides of the brewer is very consistent. All right, so tasting this coffee. On the nose, I'm going to talk a bit to Mac over here. On the nose, sweet strawberry jam almost immediately. Not just strawberry jam, like the strawberry inside like a samangko. You know that ice cream sandwich looks like a fish? It's like the strawberry version of that. All right, we'll sip. Very small hint of chocolate, fermenty notes that come from the lactic fermentation. So it doesn't come across as like a straight sweetness or a straight chocolate. It's kind of shifting around in flavor. And this style of coffee, this style of processing has really seen a boom since it did so well in the World Barista Championships. It's actually on its 5th week and it's still really, really good. One of the things I noticed is that it actually was not that good right off the bat. It was a little bit too much. In its 3rd week, it kind of hit its stride, and we ended up with a very, very pleasant, very special coffee. If I had one criticism for it, it might taste like those other coffees a bit too much. And that might be a factor probably of the lactic fermentation. From a science point of view, what you're basically doing is you're trying to convert acids from one form to its lactic form, right? So if all acids have different, molecular chemical structures, and you're moving around the molecular structure through fermentation, what happens is that if there are citric acids or malic acids in there that are providing unique flavors, by doing a lactic fermentation, you push everything to lactic, which means you're actually almost taking away elements of terroir or things that are natural to the coffee. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? That really is up to the consumer to decide. So buy the coffee, try it out, make a decision. Me personally, I would like to be able to taste a bit more uniqueness to these coffees. I don't know. I can't say that I have an opinion on it, but I don't know if a coffee from the Philippines should really be tasting like a coffee from Colombia, even if it is one of the greatest coffees. It is a great coffee. We'd like to thank the Good Cup for including this. We order a lot of coffee from the Good Cup, and every once in a while they throw in a little package like this for us to taste. Shout out to Gio, Ed, all the guys over there who have been working very hard. If you're not following their YouTube channel, do follow their YouTube channel. And with that, I do hope that you enjoy our content. If you are enjoying it, share it with a friend. I am at KO Caution Instagram, but do follow at Daily Drink Mad and at Honeycomb Manila for more information about what's going on here in the studio and more stuff about coffee and cocktails and all of these drinks. That's why it's called Daily Drink Mag. All right, I wish you guys good luck. I wish you guys good health. See you guys.